Okay, so in this video, we're moving on to how to find the area of rectangles, triangles and trapeziums. But this time, we're not going to be counting squares, we're going to be using formulas, or formulae as a plural. So the key points are that you need to memorise each formula, and it's different dependent on the shape. So you need to write these down and you need to memorise these. These will not be given to you in the exam, and these come up all the time. So you've got to be extremely confident on which formula is used for which shape. So for a rectangle or a square, this is stuff that you've learnt in primary school. You have to do length times width, or you can say base times height. That's nice and easy. So you just multiply the two sides together. In a triangle, you have to do the base times the height and then divide it by 2. Don't forget, this line here means divide. And for a trapezium, you have to do a plus b divided by 2 times the height. Now, just to explain, a trapezium is a 4-sided shape, always got 4 sides, and it's got one pair of parallel sides. Now, parallel means 2 sides that don't meet. So I've done an example here of a trapezium. It's 4-sided shape, and these 2 lines here are parallel. Now, the 2 parallel lines are A and B, so those are the 2 that you add together, and then you divide it by 2, and then you times it by how tall the shape is, the height, okay? So make sure you remember that a trapezium, 4 sides, 1 pair of parallel sides. It can look different to this, so watch out when we do the worked examples. So make sure you've got these formulae written down, and we're going to move on to the examples now for you to see how we put them into action. Okay, so we've got 6 questions we're going to work through together, and then you're going to do 6 questions on your own to practice. So the first shape, what we need to do first is just identify what shape it is. That's clearly a rectangle. Now, formula for a rectangle is length times width. So all you have to do is 7 times 4, which is 28. Now, don't forget your units. Area is centimetres squared. This is centimetres here, so we use centimetres here, and it's squared because it's area. And that is your final answer, nice and easy. Question 2 is obviously a triangle. So we're doing base times height divided by 2. So the base is 8, the height is 5, and then we're going to divide it by 2. So 8 times 5 is 40, divided by 2 is 20. Don't forget your units. This time it's metres squared. Okay, next shape. Now, these 4 lines on the shape mean that these sides are all equal. So if you've got a 4-sided shape with 4 equal sides, that's clearly a square. So a square, same as a rectangle, is length times width. Now, don't forget, square, 4 sides are equal, so this side here is also 6. So we're doing 6 times 6, which gives you an answer of 36 centimetres squared. Okay, nice and easy. Right, this shape here is a trapezium, and we know that because it's 4 sides and we've got 2 pairs of parallel sides. So the formula for that, just to remind you, is a plus b divided by 2 times height. So we're going to be doing 8 add 6 divided by 2 times the height. So 8 add 6 is 14, divided by 2 is 7, and the height is 3. So we're doing 7 times 3, which is 21. Again, units, centimetres squared. Okie doke. This is a triangle. Now, they sometimes add on extra measurements that you don't need, because don't forget, you only need to know the base and the height, and then you divide it by 2. So if we look at this triangle, the base is clearly 10 centimetres, and the height, don't forget, is how tall the shape is. So it's not 6 because that's that diagonal line. It's not 8 because that's that diagonal line. The height is 7. So the 6 and 8, we don't care about those. They're irrelevant. We just need to do 10 times 7, which is 70 centimetres squared. Now, don't forget, we have to divide it by 2 because it's a triangle. So your final answer is 35 centimetres squared. Okay, last shape. Now, this is also a type of trapezium, and we know that because it's got 4 sides and 1 pair of parallel sides. It doesn't have to look like this, okay? It can sometimes have a straight line going up as well. So this is a trapezium, so we're still using a plus b divided by 2 times height. Our 2 parallel sides are 5 and 8, so 5 add 8, and then we're going to divide it by 2 and then times it by 3. Now, 5 add 8 is 13. 13 divided by 2 is 6.5. So we're doing 6.5 times 3. You can use a calculator for this one, and it would be 19.5 units meters squared. Okay, so those are all the examples that I'd like you to look at. They're all slightly different and bring up slightly different points, so they're all important. So once you've got those written down, we're going to move on to the practice questions that you're going to have a go at on your own. Okay, so I'd like you now to pause the video and for you to quickly draw a sketch of these shapes and have a go at finding the area on your own using the formulae from the key points. And once you're finished, unpause the video and see how you did. Okay, so question 1, we've got a triangle. So we're using base times height divided by 2. So we're going to be doing 6 times 4 divided by 2. 6 times 4 is 24, divided by 2 is 12 units meters squared. Question 2 is a square. So we're doing 7 times 7 is 49 units centimeters squared. Number 3 is a rectangle, nice and easy. Length times width, 3 times 5 is 15 millimeters squared. Number 4 is a triangle. We need the base, which is 3, times the height, how tall it is, which is 4. So 5 is irrelevant, we don't need that. So 3 times 4 divided by 2, because it's base times height divided by 2. And you get 6 centimeters squared. Number 5, that's a trapezium. So we need to do 6 add 9 divided by 2. And then we times it by the height of 4. So 6 add 9 is 15, divided by 2 is 7.5. And then we're going to do 7.5 times 4. So again, you can use a calculator to do that. And you do 7 times 4, you get 28. And half times 4 is 2, add it together, 30 centimetres squared. And the last shape is also a trapezium. So we're doing 5 add 9 divided by 2 times 3. So 5 add 9 is 14, divided by 2 is 7. 7 times 3 is 21 centimetres squared. So those are your final answers. So make sure you've got those written down. And now I'd like you to move on to the worksheet. And then once you've done that, the exit card, and send that off to your teachers.